I'm just gonna talk about why Ghidorah would just beat supercharged evolved Godzilla with zero difficulty at all, let alone burning Godzilla, cause this whole debate about evolved Godzilla versus burning Godzilla is just stupid. So let's just start with refuting the common arguments about why people would think that evolved is stronger than burning. So the first one is these Nova scans about evolved being compared to burning. The first one really just compares the characteristics of how evolved and burning both store more energy than how much he would at its base form. This doesn't really compare each other in terms of the degree of energy that they have actually stored compared to each other at all. First statement also shows Godzilla being at the peak of his vitality and health before absorbing the power plant. People will usually use this statement to argue how he scales to Boston Godzilla even though it doesn't at all, because it's just base form. The second scan here would state that Hampton feared an explosion would be like the one Godzilla released in Boston. This doesn't really mean anything at all, because that will just be another person's perception on something that hasn't actually happened physically, so it won't be necessarily true. It also states about how his beam was stronger than ever before, but this doesn't even argue for why evolved will be stronger than burning. It just argues that he has the strongest beam out of any other form of MonsterVerse Godzilla, which burning doesn't have any beam at all. And then we have this third scan which states how nobody has seen readings as high as evolved Godzilla's radiation levels. But burning's readings were never even measured anyway, so this isn't even an argument for why evolved will scale above burning. And then there's this next argument, which is the most common one yet. Evolved having absorbed more radiation than burning did, by saying that evolved had absorbed the power plant and Tiamat's layer, which will also only justify that evolved is stronger than 2019 at the start of the Boston fire, as Godzilla continuously grows stronger over time due to the chain reaction caused by the nuke that causes him to eventually become thermonuclear. Alright, so now we also have this statement of Godzilla's energy capacity being magnified by 20 times. This is really just the potential of how much energy Godzilla can store compared to before, which doesn't really mean much at all. So now I'll just get to Ghidorah's scaling, and we'll start with his base form. So base Ghidorah has been shown to be able to harm supercharged Godzilla, as seen here, where you have Godzilla getting cuts from Ghidorah before Ghidorah bit the power grid. And in the novel it states that when Ghidorah had absorbed the power grid, he had amped himself by 100 times when we use Ghidorah's storms as the base. This 100 times amp would also be supported by how Ghidorah had burnt his wings while doing so. This statement isn't hyperbolic at all, since it gives a literal description, that being bottle lightning of 100 storms. Being stated to be bottled as it will literally charge up from his wings, so it's not hyperbolic. So later on, we also see Ghidorah absorbing Godzilla's energy for 56 seconds as seen here. And since it takes around 5 seconds for Ghidorah to absorb the power grid, we can use this 5 seconds as 100 times amp, and we can divide 56 by 5, which gives us 11.2. So it would be 11.2 times stronger than the 100 times amp, which would mean that the amp would have been 1120 times as strong as Ghidorah's base form, while also indirectly indicating adaptation, as before, this Ghidorah wasn't shown to be able to withstand even just 100 times amp, as his wings were burned when he released the energy. While in here, he's shown to absorb Godzilla's energy for an even longer period of time without having the need to release all the energy. This alone would just justify how Ghidorah would just massively outscale evolved Godzilla, even if we took the 20 times energy capacity statement as 20 times stronger than his base form. So Ghidorah would just godstomp supercharged evolved Godzilla and everybody else in GXK. And that's really about it. Just want to share some of my thoughts on this topic.